Case 003, The Static Lullaby. Sleep Town Vibes, a mystery horror audio series. First-person POV, Shawn Wayne. There's something about the silence after a case that always hits harder than it should. Not the kind of silence that soothes you, but the kind that feels empty. Hollow. Like the city's holding its breath, waiting for the next scream. I've never trusted that kind of quiet. Red once said, "Stillness is just noise waiting its turn." It stuck with me. Like most of the things she says, short, sharp, and just vague enough to be scary if you think too hard. It's been 3 weeks since we pulled those 2 kids out of that warehouse. 3 weeks since Lina and I followed a riddle into the darkest parts of this city's underbelly and found something worse than monsters, people pretending to be human. And now, the kids are safe. Living at the agency. Eating our food. Taking turns sleeping in the break room because we don't have enough beds. But none of us mind. We've grown used to having them around. They've even given themselves agency nicknames. The boy, he's 9, calls himself Fox. Says it's because he's fast and sneaky. His little sister, just 7, insists on Blue. No one really gets why, but she says it with enough confidence that we just roll with it. She sticks to Lina like glue, and the only one she listens to besides her is me. I didn't ask for that kind of responsibility, but I get it. People like us find each other. Even when we don't mean to. It's early morning when case 003 drops into our lap. Not with a phone call. Not with a report. With a knock on the agency door. Lina was half asleep, curled up on the couch with Blue. Fox was drawing something next to Cricket's live feed on the office monitor. She tolerates the kids more than she admits. And me? I was up, as always, working through an old cold case Red left on my desk like a challenge. The knock was soft. Almost like whoever was on the other side didn't want to be found. I answered it. She was standing there like a shadow peeled itself off the wall and decided to take human form. Black hair in twin braids, silver piercings lined across one brow, dark eyeliner smudged just enough to seem intentional. Combat boots. Sleeves too long. An oversized hoodie with a skeletal ribcage printed across it. She looked at me. Then past me. "I need help," she said, voice flat. "But only from you guys." We let her in. She introduced herself as Celine. Didn't offer a last name. Didn't offer an apology for showing up unannounced. Just walked straight into our space like she belonged here. That's what got me. She fit too easily. She knew where to sit, which mug to grab, where to place her boots so they wouldn't block the walkway. And the kids? They didn't flinch. Fox gave her a thumbs up. Blue hugged her leg. Lina gave me a look, suspicious, right? Yeah. But I kept it to myself. For now. Over tea, she told us her story. She'd been missing for 3 days. Not in the "I wandered off" way. In the "someone took me" kind of way. Except she got away. And now she was being followed. "They'll find me again," she said, spinning her spoon in circles. So I figured I'd go to the people who pulled 2 kids out of the dark. "You seem like the stubborn type." "Guilty," Lina said with a grin, leaning on the table. Celine's eyes landed on me. "You're the leader, right?" "Not officially. But you're the one they'd follow into a fire." I didn't respond to that. She already knew the answer. Cricket piped in through the speakers. "I'm running facial recognition, Celine. Hope you don't mind." Celine leaned back in her chair. "I'm not in the system." "I find everyone," Cricket said, smug. "You won't find me." A few seconds of silence passed. Then Cricket, in a quieter tone, "She's right. No trace." I didn't like that. Red had warned us about ghosts. People who don't show up on cameras. People who've had their files erased or never made it to a system to begin with. Celine was a ghost. And ghosts always come with a backstory. The case was simple on paper: track the people following Celine. Find out who they are. Stop them. But nothing in this city is ever just what it seems. Especially when you're dealing with ghosts. We started the investigation the next morning. Celine insisted on coming. Said she'd be bait. Lina and I refused. Red wasn't around to override us, so for once we were the adults in the room. We made Celine stay with Cricket and the kids while we ran recon. She protested, but I could tell she was glad. She needed the break. Cricket gave us a location ping from a burner device Celine dropped near her last known tail, a back alley 2 blocks from an old radio station. Abandoned since the late 90s. Sounded like a trap. Which meant we went in. We approached from opposite ends. Lina from the west rooftop. Me from the east on foot. In my earpiece, Lina whispered, "You ever notice how all our traps are in the creepiest parts of the city? Coincidence?" Aha. I saw them first. 2 figures. Dressed in cheap hoodies, black gloves, no visible weapons. But something was off. Their stance. Military. Posture too precise. They weren't just thugs. They were trained. Cricket muttered, "Those aren't freelancers. They're coordinated. One has a comms loop in his ear." I frowned. Then who the hell are they? We engaged. Quietly. No guns. Just hand to hand. Red trained us to incapacitate without flash. Lina dropped her target with a stun baton to the thigh and a knee to the jaw. I disarmed mine with a chokehold and zip-tied him before he could even scream. 10 seconds, maybe less. We dragged them behind a dumpster. "Cricket," I said. "Trace their comms. Now." Cricket was already in. 1 second. "I'm listening to their last signal." "Okay, that's weird. They got a message 3 minutes ago." What was it? It wasn't an instruction. It was a string of words. Nonsense. Like gibberish. What words? Cricket hesitated. Then read them aloud. Lina froze. Her breath hitched. She dropped to her knees. "Lina." I was at her side in an instant. She was shaking. Pale. "Turn it off," I snapped. "Cricket, turn it off." Cricket cut the audio. I pulled Lina into me. Her hands were clenched in her hair, eyes wide with panic. "I know that phrase," she whispered. "But I don't know how." And just like that, the case shifted. From a ghost on our doorstep. To a memory someone didn't want us to remember. To be continued. Case 003, The Static Lullaby, continued. Sleep Town Vibes, Case Files, Part 2. First person POV, Shawn Wayne. We got Lina back to the agency. She didn't speak the whole ride back. Just stared out the window, hugging her jacket tight, like she was trying to remember something, or forget it. I wasn't sure which. Back at HQ, Fox and Blue ran to her. She smiled weakly and hugged them both, then curled up in the corner of the couch with them tucked under her arms. I sat across from Celine, watching her watch all of us. She finally broke the silence. "That phrase you heard, how'd it go again?" "I'm not repeating it." Celine nodded slowly. "Good. You shouldn't." That wasn't reassuring. I narrowed my eyes. "You know something." "I know enough to stay quiet," she said. "And that your friend's lucky it only gave her a panic attack." Cricket's voice crackled in through the speaker. The signal that delivered the phrase, it was encrypted. Heavy. Not just a burner message, but broadcasted from a rotating tower. Like it's part of something bigger. Celine raised a brow. Like a loop. Cricket paused. Yeah. Then we're dealing with them, Celine muttered. Figures. I leaned forward. Define them. Celine stared at me for a long moment. Then pulled something from her pocket. A folded photo. She passed it to me like it was something sacred. I opened it. 2 girls. Sitting at an outdoor cafe table. One was clearly Celine, younger, lighter, maybe a little softer around the edges. The other made my heart skip. The same piercing eyes. The same intensity. Red's eyes. But younger. Barely 19. She was laughing in the photo. Arm around Celine. I looked up. Celine's voice was low. That's Sabrina. Red's daughter. And before she disappeared, she told me never to trust a voice on the radio. Lina, still a little pale, leaned up from the couch. Red has a daughter. Had, Celine corrected. I haven't seen her since she wiped my memory. That turned every head in the room. Cricket's voice lowered. Wait, memory wipe. You mean? She can erase memories, Celine said. Not all of them. But pieces. Just enough. She did it to protect me. Said if I remembered what I saw, they'd come for me too. You remember that now? I asked. Celine shook her head. No. But I never stopped having dreams about it. About her. And one day, I found that photo again. Hidden in the spine of a book I used to carry everywhere. And I remembered, enough. She looked at Red's empty chair. I came here because I needed help. But also because I wanted to know if she knew where Sabrina was. I guess now I'll find out if she ever comes back. That night, we played the truth game again. Red wasn't there, but Celine joined in. She looked around the room and asked, so who here's actually dated anyone? Silence. She grinned. Cute. That explains a lot. Fox, from the side of the room, what's dating? We all laughed, tension easing slightly. Celine took the moment. Alright. My truth, I used to date Red's daughter. Still don't know if I hate her or miss her. Probably both. She passed the turn to Lina. Lina looked at us, thoughtful. Okay, she said. 2 truths, since I missed last round. 1, I used to have panic attacks all the time. You guys don't see them much, 'cause I hide them better now. 2, I didn't join the agency to help people. I joined because I couldn't survive being alone anymore. No one said anything for a moment. Then Fox leaned over and hugged her. Blue did too. The silence that followed was, good. Gentle. Cricket's voice, softer than usual, you guys are all gonna make me cry. Your turn, Crick, I said. Fine. My real name's Nari. But you're all still calling me Cricket, okay? No exceptions. Celine raised an eyebrow. Nari. Cute. Shut up. My turn, I said, finally. I thought about it. Then nodded to myself. I lied about something in case 001. When we found those kids. I said I didn't hesitate to go in. But I did. For a second, I froze. Because it felt too familiar. I never told anyone that. Celine tilted her head. Familiar how? I looked away. Next time. Red came back the next day. She didn't speak to anyone when she entered. Just looked around. Saw Celine. Saw the kids. Took in the photo on the board. Took in the silence. Then she said, I'm joining the truth game. We stared. Lina smiled. welcome to the fire. Red folded her arms. Two truths. One, yes, that's my daughter in the photo. Sabrina. She vanished 3 years ago. I don't know where she is now. Celine looked down. Red continued. Two, I knew you were the one she fell for, Celine. She told me. Before she vanished, she told me that if anything ever happened to her, I was to keep this place safe for you. And that she loved you. Celine looked up sharply, stunned. And then, she started crying. Real, quiet tears. Red stepped forward, gently pulled the photo off the board, and held it like it would disappear. Her hands trembled. She's older now, Red whispered. I didn't even know what she looked like anymore. The rest of us said nothing. Just gave them the space. Until a radio crackled. Cricket jolted. Wait. You guys hear that? Everyone turned. The old, busted radio in the corner, the one no one touched, sputtered to life. A voice. Not a full sentence. Just a string of strange, calm words. Nonsense. Until Lina froze. Then shook. Then gasped and dropped to her knees. Fox rushed to her. Lina. But she wasn't there anymore. Eyes unfocused. Hands shaking. She looked at me. And whispered, I remember now. Then everything went black. To be continued. Case 003, The Static Lullaby. Final scene, aftermath and setup for Case 004. First-person POV, Shawn Wayne. She collapsed. Lina, strong, bubbly Lina, the one who always held us together, dropped to the floor like a puppet with its strings cut. Fox and Blue cried out and clung to her, but she didn't move. Not at first. I was next to her in a second. I knelt down, carefully putting a hand to her back. Lina. Hey, hey. It's okay. You're safe. We're here. Her breathing was sharp, rapid. Her eyes were wide open but not seeing. I could feel her pulse hammering beneath her skin. Red crouched on the other side, her voice suddenly, gentle. Shawn, tilt her head up. Get her to focus on you. She's grounding herself to something, you. I did. And slowly, painfully, her eyes locked onto mine. Say something, Red instructed. I'm here, Lina, I said quietly. You're safe. It's just me. We're at the agency. Fox and Blue are here. Red. Celine. Cricket's in your ear. You're safe. I remember, she whispered, almost inaudibly. I remember something from before. Before what? She shook her head weakly. I don't know. But it was buried. That voice pulled it out. Her hand trembled in mine. Not from fear, exactly. More like confusion. Or grief. I heard that same voice before, she murmured. A long time ago. When I lost someone. A chill ran down my spine. You think they're connected? She didn't answer. Just stared at the floor, like she was trying to put pieces of a puzzle together that she didn't know was even missing. Later that night, the radio was destroyed. By Red's own hand. She took it outside behind the alley, said nothing, then smashed it with a crowbar. Over and over. Celine and I watched from the window. She's scared, Celine said softly. She's never scared. I glanced at her. She's scared because this isn't random. That signal was planted. That voice knew something. Celine nodded, then pulled out the photo again. She didn't hand it to me this time, just looked at it in the dim office light. Whatever Sabrina was mixed up in, it wasn't just a memory wipe. She was trying to protect me from them. She paused. The voice. The group that's copying your team. It's all part of the same spiderweb. Then we're already in it, I muttered. Celine's voice lowered. Good. I've been looking for a reason to fight back. Red sat us all down the next morning. Her face was tired, older than I'd ever seen it. Her eyes were bloodshot, but her tone was steel. This is bigger than we thought. We all nodded. None of us disagreed. I have a name, she said finally. A whisper I picked up from an old contact. I don't know if it's a code word, a project, or a person. What is it? I asked. Red stared at the board. Project Hollow. Silence. Until Cricket spoke. I've heard that before. Everyone turned to the speaker. Cricket's voice trembled. Back when I was on the other side of the system. Before I joined this agency. I saw files marked with that phrase. Always redacted. Always encrypted. People who got too close. She cut herself off. They disappeared. I looked around at the team, my strange, broken, brilliant new family. Lina still looked pale, but she met my eyes and gave the tiniest nod. Celine had stopped smiling. That alone scared me more than anything. Red finally looked like someone who'd run out of places to hide. Even the kids, Fox and Blue, had gone silent, listening with wide eyes. And Cricket. Cricket whispered, whatever Project Hollow is, it's coming for us. End of Case 003. Next time on Sleep Town Vibes, Case 004, Beneath the Quiet. Secrets long buried start to resurface. An invitation arrives from someone who should be gone. And Shawn is forced to revisit the one case he swore never to open.